While sitting in my new bedroom unpacking the bin full of toys I haven't seen in like 2 years, I pull out something I don't remember playing with since it was brought home from the toy store 8 years before. The Furby named Tiger. I got it before I could read the instructions, so it wasn't as much fun as all the commercials made them out to be. Dropping what I was doing to finally read the manual that miraculously survived my childhood and a handful of moves, I reactivated the Furby and began to feed it, cause what else does a person love to do but stick their finger in a plastic beak that moves? It did its thing and I stuck it on my shelf for later since I was supposed to have emptied all the boxes to be broken down for the first fire in the wood stove. After dinner I decided to go upstairs and just vibe in my new space. After what felt like minutes of listening to CDs that haven't been played in a long while, it's now dark and time to get ready for bed. Sleep came fast either because of the hard work of setting up my bedroom or because I finally found solace in our family of 5. Next thing I know, I'm being woken up by the mechanical sounds the Furby makes when it moves its face. I roll out of bed and begin to walk up to the shelf it's on, and of course it's the pitch black of a new moon, so there is no light to have woken the Furby up. As soon as I begin to reach for it, it starts talking Furbish, which is only sort of creepy, so I cover it with one of my bandanas in hopes it will go to sleep. As I get back into bed I hear it say phrases it's not even programmed to say, so I jump up and grab it off the shelf to remove the batteries. The battery compartment was empty. With that terrifying realization and the snap of adrenaline, I threw it as hard as I could against my wardrobe, where it landed in my dirty laundry basket. The next noise it made sent chills up my spine. It clearly says "ooh" in a sad tone, then blows raspberries and laughs. But not a regular laugh. The laugh went from regular Furby pitch down to demonic. So I did what any regular teen would do, and I took half of my dirty clothes out of the basket and buried it in there until morning to buy me time to figure out how best to get rid of it. After not even remembering falling asleep, I jerked my head to make sure the Furby didn't find its way back onto the shelf, and thank God it was still buried. As soon as I sigh in relief, it starts telling me it's hungry, so I bolted downstairs to the kitchen, waking my sister up in the process. While my toast is cooking I could hear Furbish from the vent in the ceiling that leads to my room, so I took my buttered breakfast to the couch instead of sitting in my favorite seat directly under the vent at the kitchen table. I avoided my room the entire day while waiting for an adult to be home so I would have a real witness to the shenanigans going on. After dinner I wanted to make sure the Furby wouldn't be able to talk or find its way back into the house after its trip out the door in a trash bag, so I ripped its fur off, which only made it even more creepy and somehow more mad at me, as it made all kinds of faces and semi-demonic sounding Furbish at me as I did what I thought would be the end of it and ripped whatever wires I could grab a hold of, and it was still talking and glitching. With white-hot fear I ran downstairs and slam-dunked the toy soldier-looking creepy toy into the trash. With strange looks coming from my parents I lied and said it broke. They knew I was lying but were more weirded out as to why I would lie about something so trivial as getting rid of a toy I had grown out of. That night I slept like a log, though I thought I heard the Furby coo one last time before drifting off. The next day I asked my mom if she heard anything strange last night, but she brushed me off. A week later I asked her about the Furby that I had thrown away. Her eyes go wide and she says she heard the trash make weird noises, so she dug the Furby out and was mortified when it moved its face and started talking, but even more terrified when she noticed the disconnected wires hanging off it and the empty battery compartment, so she tossed it back in the bag and tied it up before bringing it to the bin outside. She hadn't wanted to scare me, yet she sort of got the hint that I probably mutilated the toy to be sure it wasn't just me and that the toy was in fact either cursed or possessed.